Hey, Tyler here with Elite Performance Coaching, and in this video, I want to share with you the gift of change. Change does not have to be something that is difficult, although many people think it is. I was on an accountability today where somebody was like, man, it's super hard to change. I'm working 2 jobs and doing all this stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, no, change is easy. Change can be fast. In the moment, we think it has to be hard until we see it as a gift. So check out this video. And if you want more content like this, subscribe and we'll see you soon. Here's a process I want to teach you guys. It's called the gift of change. This I learned years ago as well, and it's a simple process. Power comes in simple things. Simple things. Change happens simply. One little change, boom, transformation. So to share this, my wife and I, back about almost 10 years ago, we had just recently got married and we were driving from Arkansas to like Kansas City. So it was about a 4-hour drive, and we're going to one of my family members' house. She's kind of like an adopted family member, and we're driving there, and she had invited us over. And so we're driving there and we're going and we're just talking. We're like so grateful. We're going on this big road trip together. And in the middle of the drive, she calls us and just starts yelling at us. And she's like, Tyler and Emily, you can't come over anymore. And I'm so mad. And my son did this. And we're like 2.5 hours into the drive, driving to her house. We're like, oh crap. Like, what is going on? Like, she is triggered. We're like, whoa. And she's like yelling at us and trying, getting us. And we're like, okay, all right. We're just like, all right. And Emily's like, what should we do? And I was like, let's just keep going. And we're going to do this process. So I'm like, okay, everything's energy. So that was a lot of energy. So I was like, hey, the more anger and stuff, that means that's a lot of potential for a lot of love. So I was like, sweet. I just look at everything that has an extreme opposite. So if somebody's like really bitter, I'm like, dude, that's a really big opportunity for a lot of productivity or a lot of money. Somebody's super broke, I'm like, man, they could be really wealthy. So it's all in extreme. So if somebody's down here and they're like, man, I've had the worst relationships, they have the most potential to have one of the most phenomenal relationships energetically. It's actually true. It's one of my mentors said, give me a riot and I'll make you a millionaire. Why? Because it's like, riot is just an energy. It's a bunch of people mad and you create massive wealth. And so even in the Great Depression, you see these principles where during the Great Depression, the worst of the worst happens, but the greatest and most wealthiest people are created during that time. So it's a tried and tested principle forever. It's really cool to see those patterns. So you got to start recognizing that. If you're like, hey, I saw that in me and I'm like, I'm super messed up. I've got a lot of potential. I can totally become wealthy. I'm very broke, have bad relationships. I'm going to be amazing someday. It's going to be awesome. So I knew that potential kinetic energy was there. I was like, okay, we just got to find that potential energy. We're driving and we go through this process where I'm like, okay, we got to send her a gift, an energetic gift. And we start this process. And so I'm a vocal visualizer. So everything I like to do, I like to vocally visualize. We do it together as a couple. And we're like, okay, what do we want to give in this gift? So we're like, okay, we have this awesome box and we open this box and we pull off the lid, and inside the box, we're going to fill it with this white light, and we're going to just fill it with tons of amazing, yummy love, and fill it with gratitude. All these just love and hearts are just going to be poured into this box. And I see this box just filling with this white light and forgiveness and love and acceptance. And we're going to pack it into the fullest. And I see this package just kind of bulging. It's getting so big. And we're putting more and more just yumminess and about this. And we say her name and we're putting it all in there. And we're just keep dumping it in for like 5-10 minutes. And we're like, okay, just keep putting it in there and this and this. And oh man, I'm so thankful for her in this way and this way. And she does this. And we're putting all these things in this gift. And I'm driving, she's here, and I'm like doing it with this hand over here while I don't encourage you to do that. Drive with 2 hands, of course. But I'm doing this thing and I'm like creating this gift, right? So we're like, okay, here's this gift. And okay, now we're going to wrap it up. And it's like, oh, this awesome gift wrapping, and what's going to happen is it's like so tight, you have to like wrap that sucker because it's bulging. It's ready to explode. It's so full of such good, yummy feelings of forgiveness and love towards her son and towards us and everything. And wow, this is going to be the best gift she's ever had. And we fill it until it's like bulging, and we see like, and lights just shooting out of it. And it's incredible. And then we're like, okay, let's send it to her. And we're like, okay, boom. And we just imagine it like going. And then we're like, okay, she's walking around. She's sitting on her bed. She's really angry. And all of a sudden, boom, this gift just lands right next to her. And she's like, what the heck is this? And she looks over and it's just like, boom. And she reaches over and she looks and she's like, what is this? And she pulls the ribbon and it explodes into her room, just fills with light. The waves wash over her and all the hatred and all the pain evaporates. And she just feels this love and starts to cry because she's so in tune, and forgiveness washes over her. And she feels so excited, and she feels like she was wrong and that she's ready to change and ready to have what she wants. And she makes it up with her son, and she just feels so peaceful and happy. And the light's just bouncing off in her room, and she just feels this vibrational energy of just hope and love and forgiveness. And we just look at each other, we're like smiling real big. It's super fun to do. And we're just like, yeah. And we just drive. About 3 minutes later, no joke, about 3 minutes later, we get a call. And guess who it is? So she calls us, and complete change in demeanor, complete change. And she says, Tyler, I'm really sorry for blowing up on you. I just had a really bad day. I really do want you guys to come. I'm so sorry. Like, that was so out of character for me. I can't wait to see you guys. Love you, and we'll see you in a couple hours. And we're just driving. We're like, that was fast. So we're like, that was so cool. So it's called an energetic gift of change. You can do this every morning. Every morning when you wake up, send a gift of gratitude to somebody. It also practices that muscle of visualization. So it's an add-on from yesterday. So how many practice that? How many actually like practice that visualization where you could see more and actually like envelop all the senses? So this is another process that can help you change people's lives. Everything is energy, guys. Everything. How many are praying people? What's a prayer? Prayer is thought and emotion intensified, sent to someone. So some of you are praying crappy prayers, and it's just like it's kind of like reading this. Dear God, good day today. Awesome. Bless everybody to be good. Whew, man, I wonder why God doesn't answer my prayers. It's like, well, what you put out is what you get. Like he did. It just like you just sent that and you got that back. So if you want to increase your influence, increase your output, increase the energy that you give out. Okay. Some of you are hoarding it because you think it's just like finite. But if you can give more and expand more and send more and expect more, you will have more in your relationship. So it's a very simple process, takes 5 minutes. And I used to do this to a lot of people every morning. And I did it for over a year, like just every morning, sent a gift to someone. And I'd like, who needs a gift today? And I would just visualize it, send up, and boom, send it to them. Family members, coaching clients, like people who were just bothering me that I didn't want them anymore, or people who were good. You can send them any amazing gift. And the cool thing is when you do that, you feel better because you're involving your thought processes and your feelings, and you're sending that. And I believe that all good things come from God. So I look at it as like anything good that you do could be representative of like a form of a prayer. Now, some of you aren't God believers, so you could look at it as it's just smart and intelligent to feel good and think good feelings and send them to people. And that energy is everything, and it's all in the universe, so you might as well put good things out there to receive even better. And if you want to test it, then you can test it. If you don't believe me, then start your day and spend a month sending terrible gifts to people. Think horrible about them. Think the worst thoughts possible and send them those, and see what happens over the next month for you in your relationship. And then switch it and be like, well, that got this result. Let me try this. And you will see a significant difference. Some of you are already sending those gifts. You're just sending it all the time when you're walking around thinking about all the negative stuff. So you're already doing it just unconsciously. And now to do it consciously gives you control. You might think it's actually funny to say that, but it actually will change how you think. If you can consciously choose to send a negative, bad thing, it will stop you from unconsciously doing it all the time. Because when you're consciously choosing it, it's like, why would you choose that? Doesn't make sense, right? It's like when I went to an event in Singapore, I paid almost $12,000 to go to this like 5-day event where we worked hard and stayed up till like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. and woke up at 6 or 7 and crushed it out. And it was just intense. And one of the guys there was coaching me, and he's like, hey, Tyler, you're a really nice guy. And I was like, oh, I try to be. Like, I grew up, try to be nice. And he's like, no, you're too nice. In fact, you're afraid to be mean. And I was like, well, I don't want to be mean. Like, why would I want to hurt people? Like, I saw so many people get hurt growing up. Like, that was part of my savioritis, try to save everybody. And he said, okay, well, you're here to change, right? And I was like, yep, I'm willing to do anything. And I'm one of those, I'm all in. If it's like, if they're standing on their head, breathing weird ways, I'm like, I'm in, let's do it. I'm all in for trying something. I'm all like, let's test it out. If it works, great. If not, I'm not doing that again. So I'm like, okay, I don't know till I try it out. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. What is it? And he's like, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, I'm in. As long as you're not going to tell me to do some sort of drug, I'm good. And he's like, yeah, this is good. And he said, okay, everybody from now on, the whole day, anybody that comes to you and interacts with you, you are going to reject them and be completely mean to them. And I was like, wait, like, what, wait again, this is moral? I don't know. And I was like, he's like, any interaction, you're going to tell them and look at them and you're going to say, shut up, I don't like you, go away. And you have to be as serious as possible and walk off and not explain yourself. And I was like, oh, like this was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And all day I was just rejecting and hating people. And I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm the worst person in the world. Like everybody would come, they're like smiley at this event and they're like, how's it going? And I'd be like, shut up. I don't want to talk to you. Go away. And I just walk off. And then all the guilt, all the shame, all the feeling of like, how could you do that to somebody, Tyler? You're hurting them. But what happened is after doing this throughout the day, I got to see something that completely altered my point of view. Number one, I realized that no matter what I did, I couldn't actually hurt anybody. It was their choice to take offense or not. So it taught me a huge lesson. Number two was that if I chose to be mean, I don't have to fear it. And I don't have to fear it on the extreme of trying to help save everybody. So it actually taught me one of the most powerful lessons, well worth $12,000 just for that experience. And I thought, that's going to make me a better husband, a better coach, a better father, to not fear people experiencing pain and trying to save them from it. And one of the things that I tried to do too much was trying to save them. So it got me to trust in people, trust that they can handle their own feelings. And it was completely eye-opening for me. So some of you have gotten these programs where you think you have to save everybody, that it's up to you to solve everyone's problems. But I want you to take a look at that and say, hey, maybe today is about change. What do I need to do to confront things, to stop being a victim, to stop being, maybe it's stop being too nice. Maybe it's stop being too mean. Maybe it's doing something that you avoid to learn a lesson so that you can confront that and change how you are. Hey, what's up? If you want to get access to learn the full process of how to change at a cellular level, click the link in the description. I actually have created a way for you to get access to the Unstoppablepreneur School for free so that you can check it out on a trial so you can experience these changes for yourself. So if you want to learn more, if you want to dive deeper, if you want to go through some of the coolest processes on the planet and the fastest hacks, click the link in the description and we'll see you on the other side. Was it me? No, it was each and every one of you. So we all chose to do that. No one forced you. No one made you. You chose, which is freaking awesome.